Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as I have been doing my most recent GAC and farming for Galactic Legends Kylo Ren, I've noticed that there's a number of characters that I really wish that I would have spent more time getting leveled up, getting geared up, and really making them good. And I've created a list that I feel like if I can ever get around to, these are the characters that I really want to focus on. And I want to talk in this video about what these characters are and why I like them and where I feel like they might be best for my personal team. Now, everyone's going to have their own list. Everyone's going to have their own characters. And what makes this game so interesting is these characters are valuable. These characters are great, but they're great because my roster needs characters like this, needs characters that have these synergies. And every roster is going to be different. And that's what makes this game so fun. That's what makes this game so unique, right? Yes, many of us are still chasing the meta. I mean, clearly I'm going for Kylo Ren Galactic Legend, but I, at the same time, recognize that these characters could be beneficial because of the teams that I have chosen to farm. Now, I've grouped these by faction or commonality. So let's go ahead and just jump into it.
The first character that I want to talk about is SWGOH Opress. SWGOH Opress is just a great character. And it's not that he's a great character in and of himself. He's okay. But the thing that I love about SWGOH is his power ability. It's just freaking amazing. It was like one of the first like auto defeats, or annihilates or wreck, whatever we call Rex's ability. It's just a great ability. Now, I don't necessarily think that I want to get SWGOH all the way to Gear 12 just for one ability, seeing as how I already have other characters. I have Nihilus, I have Rex, I have Boba and Daddy Boba, and they're great characters. I don't necessarily need a SWGOH. However, having SWGOH, having a character who has that functionality on a Sith team, especially when the chips are down, especially when you kind of have been really struggling to defeat a team, this is a character that I feel like would be very beneficial because it wouldn't take away from those other insta-kill teams that I've already created. Now, next on the list is one that I've actually been working on and haven't got her where I really, really want her, and that is Ness. She has a Dispel, a Stun, she inflicts buff immunity, she can daze, she has an 80% counter chance, she ignores taunt, she gets stacking bonus protection. Ness is a character that I've absolutely loved and just really wish that I would spend more time on her. She is great on so many teams, and she's great solo. She's one of those characters like Malik, who is just a great solo character, and I really, really want her to be Relic 7. Now, part of me wants to get a Relic 7 simply because I know that not everyone will have a Relic 7 in Ness. Now, that's what makes some of these characters so amazing, because some people aren't going to farm them and take them to, their ultimate power level. So getting her to be awesome is on the top of my bottom list, if that makes sense. She is an amazing character and I really like her. Now, jumping to the next faction, or the next commonality. This isn't a faction of sorts, but it is the droids. And the first droid that I've really been debating on putting a double Zeta on this character. And during the time that I was farming for his or its original faction, I really wish I would have put more effort in farming him than some of the other characters, and that is T3M4. When I was farming for Revan, when I was farming for Darth Revan, I got him up to Gear 11. He's a solid character, he's good, but I left the double Zetas off because I had other wants and other desires at the time, and because of that, I didn't gear him up, didn't get him as good as I possibly could. Now I do have some solid Old Republic characters. Like I really feel confident in my Old Republic team. However, T3 is one that I've really contemplated putting that double Zeta on, because just looking at him, he offers ability block on his basic. It's a potential, but still, he does target lock, dispel plus heal, protection gain for droids, a mass dispel. Droid allies gain 8% potency up and critical chance stacking, plus 8% critical damage for each debuff on him. That's one of the Zeta-able abilities, and that is awesome. For a droid team, he is very useful. The other Zeta-able ability here is droid allies gain 100% of T3's defense penetration and then grants random target lock. Now, again, on a droid team, that target lock functionality is awesome and so very useful for a droid team. It's great for other things, but really good with droids. Now, he would be an offensive character. He wouldn't necessarily be someone I'd put on defense. But again, he's one that I like and wish that I would have spent more time on during the initial farming phase. As it stands, I got to deal with what he is. And he's good, but he's just not where I want him to be. Now, T3, for me, Gear 12 is where I think I will want to put him. But that double Zeta is really calling my name. It has really been like, Thaddeus, put Zetas on me. And I want to. I'm hesitant, though. Clearly, I'm hesitant. Now, next, this would be a defensive character. This is a droid. You're probably already knowing who I'm talking about, and that is L337. I like L337. I think she's a great character in the game. She really bugs the hell out of me when it comes to the film. I get the snarky feminine role. I love that. Also, it does make me wonder about the relationship that she and Lando had. Weird. But, deep space things happen. She has defense down, gains max health, stacking, taunts, heals droids, and scoundrels. And I think that's kind of one of the nice things here. Dispels, she has a health equalizer with droids. She's not necessarily the greatest droid character or for a droid team. However, she has counter and a crit avoidance. She is great on one of those healthy timeout teams. Put her under a Barasafi with her and I don't know, someone else who heals quite a bit. I think this is one of those characters that would be very beneficial. I will be gearing her up to Gear 12 for a couple of reasons. One, I really think that in the future, ships are going to play a much bigger part. Because she is part of Lando's Millennium Falcon, I want to get her to be to a point where her stats influence that Falcon ship. Now, that's clearly not the best Falcon, obviously, and I'll be focusing on the other Falcons first. But I really want to get my ships to be the best they can, and she's going to be one whose stats will affect the overall performance of the future, right? But again, as a timeout team, I think she's great. Next on the list, I'm going to jump over to the Rebel faction. I have a very well-constructed Rebel team. However, I don't have a lot of early game characters geared to where I want them to be. I have them geared to where they're effective. I have them geared to where they're good enough for me to get the stuff that I need, like CLS, like other things, right? I have my favorite rebels, clearly. But what I don't have is I don't have Farm Boy Luke. Now, Farm Boy Luke is one that I really wish that when I had my dev account, I spent a lot more time playing around with. He does damage over time on his basic. He can stun. He has a critical damage stacking. That is awesome, especially for these long battles, raids, mostly PvE type stuff. But still, I like that concept. I really wish I would have kind of seen Vader with Farm Boy Luke. I think that could have been pretty fun to play around with. But I do think that he's going to be useful on a 3v3 team, especially when the chips are down. He's one of those characters that that stun could really turn the tide. Now, Gear 12 is where I will be pushing for. If I have nothing else to farm, he'll be one that I passively try to level up to Relic 7, but not initially. Clearly not initially. He's definitely one that will probably be on the back burner, but I really like his kit, and I think he's one that I want to get to a point where he is functional. Now, finally, guys, I am looking at Old Ben. Old Ben is a character that I just haven't spent enough time on. Like I said, I have a great series of Rebels, and I have the best Jedi, right? They're really good. I have a solid Jedi team. I run a Jedi Knight Revan team in Arena, and it's fun. It gives me what I want to do. But with Old Ben, I feel like there's a functionality that I'm just missing, or that I'm using in other places. Now, he has a mass ability block, which is awesome. He gives turn meter removal with that ability block. Turn meter gain, he taunts. Then he taunts when he's not taunting. It's this weird ability. He gains turn meter when rebels or Jedi take damage, and that's doubled for Jedi rebels. When he dies, he gains offensive speed up, recovers 50%, or the people that are remaining on his team, 50% health, 50% protection, and 25% turn meter. When you have Jolie Bindo, boom, you bring him back, and he does all those mass ability blocks. You don't get that second, those additional buffs when he dies a second time, but he's still really freaking good. And I just have to believe that had I leveled him up before, he's solid. He's a solid character. Now, the real thing that I think to myself, or the one thing that I'm like most curious about, is that double Zeta. And again, that's one that's been calling me, and I held off because I didn't have 2 Zetas. But now that I'm more of an in-game player, and I've got a bunch of Zetas kind of just lying around, because that's the case, it makes sense for me to use something like that here and now. Get use of them while I can. Now, what are the characters that are on your list? These are my characters. These are the characters that I want to get up. Definitely the characters that I feel like would benefit my roster the best. Now, everyone has a different set of characters. Everyone has a different, group. What characters are in your group? Leave a comment in the section below and let me know. Also in the section below, you're going to find 2 links. The first link is for the Going Nerdy swag shop. You can check out our latest t-shirt. Order 66 was an inside job. My shirt should be coming any day now, and I'm very excited to get it. I'm periodically going to be putting up new shirts. These are shirts that I'm making for myself. If you want them to, great. They're there for you. I'm making them because I like these shirts. But if you want to check them out, every time you order, you do help my channel. Now, additionally, in the link below, there is a link to Audible. I always talk about this because I want everyone to read the Star Wars novels, the Star Wars books. They are amazing. There's so many new ones coming out, and I'm so excited for this summer for all these new books that are coming out. I'm very, very stoked, especially for the Dr. Aphra story. I'm very excited for that, guys. But in the link, you can check out Audible for 1 month. You get a free book. You get 2 free Audible originals every month that you stay on. If you sign up for the first month, it's absolutely free. Cancel within a month. It doesn't cost you a dime. You keep the books, but you also help out the channel. That would be awesome. There's some great stuff coming out. Share this video. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what characters you're farming or you want to farm. Because let's face it, guys, if we're all chasing the meta, our farming list is more of a wish list than it is the one that we're farming. But let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification button to get notified every time I post a video. Check us out every Tuesday on the Twitch stream over at the Escape Podcast for Going Nerdy with Going Nerdy, where myself, Paul, and the Nev talk about nerd things, not always related to Star Wars. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, my friends, smile and stay nerdy.